So I think it's amazing just to see, and it's inspiring and amazing to see how technology truly helped these people from the situation that they were previously in. Maybe they felt like they were helpless, and now they can truly thrive, support themselves. Hello, hi. I'm Yoanita Simanjuntak. My friends usually call me Jojo. I'm the Senior Lead for Sustainability Strategy in Gojek. My roles and responsibilities, I don't know where to start. Sustainability function is a newly established function. We were just established October 2020, which is 7 months from today, 7 months ago from today. So we kind of do a little bit of everything because it's a new function in Gojek, and the mandate is very huge. The mandate is to help Gojek transition to a more socially and environmentally responsible manner. So how we can ensure that everything that we do in Gojek, our business and operationals, all integrate and incorporate sustainability principles. So how we can do business better, how we can do business in the right way. What are the targets that we should set to be able to measure how we conduct business the right way? We also have to think about, using global standards. So that is the big mandate of the function. So what I do is set the targets that we use to measure all of this Gojek efforts. And firstly and foremost is to identify the best strategy to move forward. And how we do that is that we collect the data. For example, when you talk about air quality, you think about emissions. So what we're doing now is we're calculating our emissions. Gojek is doing a greenhouse gas inventory where we calculate emissions from direct operational, like our office buildings, and then from employees commuting to the office, from business trips that we do, how much emissions that we produce there from scope 1 to 2, and then the scope 3 emissions that are produced in our broader ecosystem. So the emissions from our driver partners' vehicles, the emissions from cooking activity that the GoFood Merchants is doing. We calculate all of that to be able to identify the best strategies so that we can think about ways to reduce our carbon footprint, how we can avoid and reduce the carbon, and those that we cannot avoid and reduce, how we can offset them. I myself mainly lead partnerships with mostly local startups that I am actively looking at or searching on LinkedIn and just dropping a message to say, hi, I want to learn more about what you do, and thinking of ways that we can collaborate together to come up with a meaningful long-term solutions to some of the issues that we need to address together for a better planet and for the betterment of a lot of people. So because sustainability function is new to Gojek, it is very important to get everyone on the same page of what sustainability means, what sustainability should look like in Gojek. So a lot of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis would include aligning with other functions. So Gojek has a lot of different functions. We have transport team, we have digital pay team, we have GoFood team. So how do we align with each of these different functions to have to ensure that everyone's on the same page with what sustainability means and what it should look like in Gojek? So a lot of what we do on a daily basis is alignment with different functions, and it is because this is a new function. People need to firstly understand what this is. So we're on the same page. And after that, we can together discuss the best path forward to be able to integrate sustainability principles in their, decision making, in their operational and their business model. So that's what we do is we try to figure out what are the bottlenecks or what are the pain points, for example, the GoFood team to be able to transition to a more sustainable business process. And then we problem solve from there And we talk to other functions. We talk to our drivers. What are the pain points for them? We talk to the merchants. We talk to our customers as well to figure out how we can find sort of like a model that works for everyone, but also at the same time is very mindful of like the social and environmental impact. So the day-to-day activities would be a lot of alignment, a lot of discussion. Now that we're working from home, a lot of Zoom calls with external parties. So we talk with a lot of ESG. ESG is environmental, social, and governance. So ESG experts around the globe to learn about what are the best practices there, what are the global standards that are available and we should follow. And the reason is that one, maybe there are solutions out there to, for example, on the plastic waste issue that maybe we can learn from, and then we can try to replicate in our ecosystem, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And also, we talk to experts to see if there are any global standards that we can follow to make sure that all of the efforts that we're doing is can be measured by a clear and defined standard and metrics. So those are the things that we do. So essentially, on a day-to-day basis, it's just learning. It's working while also learning these new things that are available in the market, the new innovations that are available in the market that we can partner with. So it's a lot of discussions with multiple parties and how we can translate the ideas that we get from those discussions to actionable items, how we can translate those ideas that we get from those discussions into, say, a product solution or a service that we can provide on our platform to enable other people to also make this transition with us. So usually when people talk about managing people, you would think about managing someone that's directly in your team. So managing people could happen in like different directions. One thing that we need to remember when you talk about managing people is that there is no effective solution to any world problem that is the result of a single discipline, a single sector, or the same with a company. No solution can come out from a single function. So it's truly important for you to be able to remember that and approach every discussion you have with other functions, with your boss, with your team member, with that in mind, that you cannot do this alone. You need to collaborate. So the goal is always to strive for alignment. The goal is always to find what is really the issue in moving forward, and together find a way to collectively solve that issue. So I think with managing people, it's just you need to learn their language, I suppose. So from a sustainability lens, it makes sense for us to want to do things in a more environmentally responsible manner. But maybe from, say, the business team, they think more about like, does this make sense business wise, which is valid, and everyone has their own roles to make sure that everything works together fine. So you need to be able to understand, for business people, their currency is business. So you need to persuade or talk to them in their language. Tell them that, hey, climate crisis has financial risk. If we don't do this, this and that happens. Or when you talk to, say, the legal team, use their language in that. Maybe starting off from like, hey, there's a plastic ban in Jakarta, which means that, there's a big possibility that the plastic ban will be applicable nationwide. We need to start thinking about what to do. So it's knowing what people's currency is and try to present this problem that we want to solve together. So I guess the key to managing people is just you always have to strive for alignment in your objectives, figure out what is their currency and try to appeal using their language. I think a good example for the amount of teamwork that comes into play when we say product development is the greener carbon offset. If you have tried on your Gojek app, you can open your Gojek app. You can scroll down to find the feature environmental product called Go Greener Carbon Offset. It's Gojek's first environmental product, and I was leading the development of that product. This is an environmental product. It must be the responsibility of sustainability function, which is where I sit. But it's more than that. I have to liaise with the product team in developing the product itself, right? I have to liaise with the government relations team because we want to also the result of this product. We want to register it in the national system to help Indonesian government achieve their targets for emissions reduction. I have to talk to the corporate affairs team and how we can communicate this to the general public in the most digestible way, because carbon offsetting is a concept that's quite niche. Maybe people still have questions about what is carbon offsetting, why does planting trees help, and so on and so forth. So how we can communicate this in a digestible way. And then I need to talk to a lot of different functions internally in Gojek. And then also externally, I need to talk with our partner, Jejak In, which has the technology to do monitoring of the trees planted on the field. I need to talk to our conservator who does the tree planting. So it's just it's an extensive group of people that you need to collaborate with so that you can produce one single product. So yes, definitely teamwork is very needed. As I mentioned earlier, there's no single effective solution in this world that is a result of just one field or one sector or one team. It has to be a collaborative effort. Because this is a new function, people may think that this is something that we are just doing for the PR value or something that we're just doing for the marketing, but it's beyond that. Gojek truly wants to start doing business better, right? So getting people to move or to shift that perception from, just doing the bare minimum to how we can truly integrate every business process, every operations, considering all the, sustainability principles. I think that is the biggest challenge, because I believe once everyone is on the same page, why this is important, it would be easier to move forward. But I think the first challenge is just to get everyone on the same page. And then after that, another big challenge for sustainability is that because of the scale of the company, we're already a large company, to transition to a more sustainable business process would require a lot of, cost, would require a lot of effort as well. So it's mobilizing, first and foremost, mustering the support and then mobilizing them to make this transition. I think that is one of the main challenges when you talk about sustainability. So what's interesting is that I started off by joining Bank Mandiri, which is a state-owned bank in Indonesia. And the reason I joined that was because after I graduated from international relations, I didn't know what to do. At first, when I took international relations, in my head, I wanted to be a diplomat. And then I took the test to be a diplomat and I didn't pass it. So I'm like, okay, now what do I do now, right? So I was confused at that time what to do. So what I did was, after that, I pursued my master's degree with a Chevening scholarship for innovation management and entrepreneurship. So upon realizing that, hey, I think now I found my calling, or what I'm really interested in, which is innovation. And then when I was in UK, I was learning also about Gojek and how Gojek is a disruptive innovation. And I was thinking to myself, this is really cool. I want to be a part of this company. How can I be a part of this new disruptive innovative company in Indonesia? So when I got back to Indo, I tried to apply to Gojek. My friend told me, hey, there's actually an opening in Gojek. At that time, the opening was in public affairs. And I figured public affairs isn't that far away from my educational background in international relations, right? So I then just applied with very little understanding of what public affairs actually means. But I was, again, I guess I was lucky that when I was in public affairs, I was assigned to lead Gojek Accelerate, which is Gojek's startup accelerator arm. And there again, I get to use my background in innovation management, my master's degree in innovation management, to come up with this program for startups and also learn all of these innovative startups. And then I then was introduced through the program to Jejak in an innovative startup that in Indonesia that uses AI for climate actions. Sustainability has always been something that I really enjoy reading about. It's always been something that I hold close to my heart. Even for like the smallest things that I can do, like not use plastic bags, bring my own tote bags to supermarkets, even those tiniest things. I've always tried to do that. So we put together a team, a task force, who then gave birth to Go Greener Carbon Offset, which is Gojek's first environmental product. And I guess because of that, now I'm in the sustainability team and I lead partnerships for sustainable innovation. You can start off anywhere, but if there's something that you really want to do, just have the courage to ask your boss if you can do it, and maybe you'll get the support that you need to pursue it. What I'm doing right now is what I am most passionate about. I really love innovation, as I explained earlier, and I get to do that here. And now what I do in Gojek also allows me to do exactly that, right? My job doesn't necessarily like directly translates to that, but I was always able to make it about that, I guess. But I just wanted people that's watching this video to know that it's not always like that. It's not always rainbow and butterflies, I guess. And the other big question, am I happy with my job? I would say yes. And what makes me happy with my job is that at the end of the day, and I know this might sound cliche, but at the end of the day, what I do makes me feel good about, just contributing to the world, really. Making a change can feel like what I do contributes to the people around me, to the environment. So what is the highest and lowest moment of my career? I think we'll start with the lowest moment. So I guess, the lowest moment was in sustainability would be just people have different level of environmental awareness. People have different understanding of what socioeconomic development means. Maybe you might have this great idea to do something, but they are the people that know more what the pain points would look like. You as, the new person coming into the situation may not understand that. So there could be a mismatch in understanding. So yeah, that's always a challenge to navigate. Problem solving requires all the parties involved to want to solve the problem. Sometimes it's very challenging when they don't acknowledge it's a problem, or they acknowledge it's a problem, but it's a problem that they don't believe they have to solve right away. It's like, we can do that later. So it's a no for now. So that is quite challenging. And if you hear that a lot, that could affect you. The highest moment. But I guess one of my proudest moment, and also maybe one of the most inspiring one, is when I sat down with Melinda Gates. So I had this wonderful opportunity to go to IMF in 2018, where Melinda Gates reached out to Gojek because she was interested to talk to some of our drivers. When we sat down and talked to these female drivers, I then truly realized, because of all of Melinda's really great questions to the female drivers, I then realized that technology, even as simple as the smartphone that you hold in the palm of your hands, can truly change someone's life. So I think it's amazing just to see, and it's inspiring and amazing to see how technology truly helped these people from the situation that they were previously in. Maybe they felt like they were helpless, and now they can truly thrive, support themselves. So I think that was one of my highest moment in my career, is just, being able to have that conversation with Melinda Gates and the drivers, and just realize that, technology can truly change someone's life. So there are two questions, yeah. The first question was whether there are any specific degree or background that you need to have to be a professional in sustainability? So on that question, you don't have to have a fancy job or come from a fancy school or be in a position of power to do your part. Everyone has a role to play because making this world a better place, that is a team sport. I think what you can do, I'm not from environmental science. What I did was I tried to increase my sustainability literacy by just, reading a lot of articles. There's a lot available online. And I think the most effective one was talking to a lot of experts. So tips for anyone who wants to pursue a career in sustainability. The first one is to reflect on your motivation. You need to have a clear sense of direction and know your intent. Why do you want to do it? If you choose this career path, is this the hill you want to die on? So you have to first reflect on your motivation, know your intent. Why do you want to be in this field? The second is to learn your options. In what industry you want to join in their sustainability journey. For me, it's Gojek. I wouldn't say it's a transportation industry because we do a little bit of everything. There's also food delivery, logistics, digital payment, entertainment. Some companies would have sustainability function under different functions, right? In Gojek, it's a standalone function that reports directly to the co-CEOs. But in other companies, it could be under their corporate secretary, their corporate communications, their marketing team. It could be under their science team. So you need to first learn all of your options, what industry, where the function sits. Why? Because you need to make sure that, in whichever industry you want to join, you need to make sure that it aligns with your values and your ideals. The third one is, you need to know what you bring to the table. Most people think that people in this field are hippie tree huggers. Let them think that. That's fine. You're actually making change while skeptics are just sitting and judging. Others would think that people with specific backgrounds are the only ones credible to do something impactful. What I'm saying here is that if you truly care, you already have every right to sit at the table. So now it's about what you bring to the table. If you're not an environmental scientist, so then you get to know all the best available science, the global standards to measure environmental impact. So even you're not an environmental scientist, you can still learn this and you can partner with them who are experts. You can partner with them to help you make that transition. All of that brings me to my last point. There is no effective solution to any world problem that is the result of a single discipline or a single sector. So the need to collaborate is very imperative. Everyone you meet has something cool that they can do. So you need to work with them. Always approach something with the understanding that you need to collaborate to be able to create meaningful long-term impact.